insight and wisdom to you. I'm going to discuss all about the climate strikes. I am so excited to see this happening, and I just can't believe the turnout. And I wanted to just be another voice to help to get awareness out there, because some people may not realize that the climate strikes have been going on. If you are not really focused on that kind of news, then you might not even know. So I wanted to show you the website and kind of go through it with you and discuss things, and just talk about some of the energetic spiritual implications of this. This is really huge. I woke up feeling really great, and just I had a sense that things were definitely going to start changing a lot. Small steps, but hey, everything is really baby steps first. So I wanted to share the screen with you, and my Gavan and Siren of the Void, thank you for joining. I'm going to share the screen right now, and you can see the website. So let's talk about this. Okay. So you can see the global climate strike is happening now. First, it'll ask you for your email. I will definitely sign up. Great. Find out what's next. So we'll go back to the very first information, but I wanted to get rid of that window and show you this. The global climate strike has shown we have the people power we need to solve the climate crisis and end the age of fossil fuels. But what happens next is up to us. The biggest climate mobilization in history simply won't be enough if it stops this week and people just go home. Are you willing to use your power to keep up the pressure? Here's how you can keep up the fight after the global climate strike. So the reason why I'm really interested in switching over is because I see a lot of great benefits for us. I think the benefits are really just far larger than we can expect. Some people might be afraid of changing over, but my father has an electric car, so I don't think that it's so much different than using a gasoline car. I mean, there are some things that you need to do, but I think that it would be a really great idea for everybody to really use as less fossil fuels as they possibly can. I think that would be probably the best thing that people can do. So here's where they say, demand the European Investment Bank stops funding fossil fuels. This campaign is in the final stretch. The European Investment Bank wants to stop financing fossil fuels, but the bank needs the EU finance ministers to approve the decisions and sign the petition to help out pressure on the bank's board. I actually signed this petition already, so you can always help by signing that way. You can also join their fossil-free Facebook page, and Facebook claims to be committed to reducing its carbon footprint, but its willingness to accept money from the companies causing climate breakdown says otherwise. That's why we're calling on Facebook to reject the fossil fuel industry's dirty ad money. Add your name. Okay, so I haven't done that yet, so I'll add my name. Let's do done. Okay. Where are you, United States? Great. I'll share it later. And I will donate. Sure, but I don't want to do this online. But I will definitely donate here. Okay, so that's wonderful. So there's a lot of different things that you could do. Ban fracking in South Africa. We know that to keep global warming below 1.5 Celsius degrees, coal, oil, and gas need to stay in the ground. That means no fracking. Not in South Africa, not anywhere. Our movement is ready and more determined than ever to fight fossil fuels Add your voice to the call to the Minister of Mineral Resources. Okay. Yes, I will sign. I probably need my actual All of the Earth. I want to protect the environment for years to come. Okay. There you go. Not now, but, and I'll go back to that later. Okay. So these are some things that you can do. Then you can look here, and then it shows you North America. We are unstoppable. U.S. call, we are unstoppable to build on the climate strike momentum. Will be an opportunity for long-term supporters and newcomers to learn about current campaigns. Get connected. So this is all the movements that are going on, and you can join them by going to this page. So there's a lot of things that you can help do if you cannot actually go to the strikes. So that I thought was really great. So let's go back here to the very beginning. This week will be historic. In over 150 countries, people are stepping up to support young climate strikers and demand an end to the age of fossil fuels. The climate crisis won't wait, so neither will we. You know what's really great is that this was actually started by kids or students, and it was really inspired by Greta Thunberg. So she started this movement, and then a lot of the young kids started leaving, I guess, school on Friday to stand up in this way. So this tells you about our next generation and how much they care about the environment and how they're not going to let this just kind of be ignored. I think this is a really positive thing. But it's far more than children, as you can see. So you can go to this website and you can take a look at all the things that are going on, all the events. But this is huge. This is something very big. And one thing that they say is that they're going to keep on going. It's not just going to be a one and done strike, but they're going to keep going until they progressively change basically the UN to accept some of these new laws. Now, here's what, okay, so I need to get out of here. I wanted to show you this too. So I'll stop sharing this one here, but there is another page that I wanted you to take a look at, and I'll leave the links below in the description for you. But of course, you can just always go to globalclimatestrike.net and you'll see it. Even if you just type in climate strike, it'll pop up. However, let me show you this one here. Okay, so I'm going to show you this page. This is another one. So this is One Tree Planted, and they talk a little bit more about what you should know about the UN Climate Summit. The reason why these climate strikes are happening right now is to basically affect the UN Climate Action Summit, where this is where all the leaders are gathering. And it says, despite international agreements to reduce global greenhouse gas production and limit global warming to less than 2 degrees Celsius, emission levels continue to rise, and the last 4 years have been the hottest on record. That's why the climate crisis, the most pressing challenge of our time, is being placed front and center at the upcoming UN General Assembly in NYC. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is kicking off the 74th General Assembly by making the goals of the 2016 Paris Agreement the defining issue of the coming year, and convening a UN Climate Action Summit to take place on September 23rd, just in time for Climate Week NYC. Okay, so you can actually check out One Tree Planted. This is the organization that I use to donate money to help plant for the Amazon forest fires, just to help with reforestation in any way I can. This is a great website to use. And you could just do $1 a tree whenever you want. And a lot of my proceeds from my Etsy store go here. So this is a wonderful website. And they send you a certificate. They send you information about your trees. So I think it's wonderful. It's great service for you to know where your money goes. So this is what's going to give you some more ideas of why the climate strikes are happening. Now, there has been some progress, however, and I'll stop sharing here. There has been some progress, however, there are not a whole bunch of countries switching over to green energy. These are the ones that are currently kind of leading the way in green energy and getting around fossil fuels. So I'm going to show you this here so you can see. And this is the one, follow the leaders. Okay, so these are the 11 countries that are shifting to renewable energy. Who's embracing the wind, solar, geothermal? These countries could provide blueprints for the worldwide shift to renewable energy. So this is Sweden is number one. They are 100% fossil fuel free. And this has always been interesting because this is where the Palladian influence of Billy Meyer started happening. So I do believe that there has been some kind of energetic shift. And also the Swedes have always been very nature connected. So that is why they have always been probably the forefront of this renewable energy. Costa Rica, good job, Costa Rica. Nicaragua, great. Scotland, I have Scotland in me, or Scottish. So great, 97% of the country's household electricity needs. Germany, I saw a very interesting thing on an architecture show, watching how they design homes. There are actual factories where it's just robots that just run their factories. So they have the human designers and the robots actually make everything. So they're definitely up and coming with their technology, and 78% of a day's electricity demand from renewables. I wonder if those robots are green energy. Uruguay. Okay, so 95% of its electricity from renewables. This is great. So they use a lot of solar, a lot of hydro power. Excellent. Denmark, 42% of its electricity from wind turbines. Not bad. The country aims to be 100% fossil fuel free by 2050. Hey, that's a doable goal. I mean, yeah. China. So China, top 10 wind energy countries. China, wow, megawatts. Okay, so they definitely are, they're getting there. Wondering how the world's largest carbon emitter can also be a leader in renewable energy. It may seem counterintuitive, but in 2014, China had the most installed wind energy capacity by a long shot, and the second highest installed solar PV capacity. China has also committed to phasing out coal and cleaning up its polluted air. Wow, that's great. Go China. Morocco. The world's largest concentrated solar plant is set to open in Morocco. Yes, with ample sun. Of course, you got to use that desert sun and no buildings in sight. Morocco decided to go big, bigger than anyone else in the world. In fact, the largest concentrated solar plant on Earth recently opened its first phase in Morocco. With its accompanying wind and hydro plants, the mega project will provide half of Morocco's electricity by 2020. How wonderful. The United States of America. Okay, so we're starting. I don't know if a lot of you have seen my Instagram page, but I posted at one point, and I think I did it on the community page too. My father switched over to everything to solar panels. We have a small house, but in the suburbs, but he just installed solar panels on top of the roof. So it's exciting to see. And he said, it's amazing. It really cuts down on the costs, and they find that it just helps. It helps them so much. So United States, every 2 and 30 seconds, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, a new solar energy system was installed in the US in 2014, earning the US 5th place on the installed solar PV capacity global rankings. America has also the second highest installed wind energy capacity in the world. Unfortunately, the energy demand in the States far outpaces the renewable capacity. Renewables only accounted for about 13% of the country's electricity generation as of 2014. That said, a new NOAA study estimates that America could reduce emissions by nearly 80% in just 15 years without impacting consumer electricity costs by using more renewables. So there's still climate hope for the US to make the switch. Okay, so there is still room for improvement for the US. Kenya, this country is looking to geothermal energy to power its future and reduce reliance on costly electricity imports as of 2015. Geothermal accounted for 51% of Kenya's energy mix. This is great. So it's important to keep on top of this because this is our future. This is really the main thing that we're looking at right now as far as what's important for the future. What's important for the future is the way that we use the energy to sustain our civilizations. And we only have a finite amount of the fossil fuels. So we need to use the energy that is completely always there, such as the wind, the sun, and water from the sky. So I think that this is a really good start. Those that are saying that this is just a liberal ploy or there's a lot of people that are against this, and I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. I'm not understanding, and maybe it's just because they don't have the full education about what this actually means and how serious this is of making that switch. We are in a time now where it just seems like this is the time, and we don't really have a choice any longer in terms of the growing needs of the planet and the way that civilization has been going for so many years with people using energy, and it's not been the renewable resources. So I think that this is definitely time to act now. I'm so proud of the students that made a stand to start this, and now adults are joining them. I think I'm actually going to join them September 27th because they did it yesterday, September 20th, and they're also going to do it September 27th as well. And I'm going to try to find a way to go early in the morning if I can, because I wasn't able to go yesterday, but I was definitely with them in spirit, and I was just watching it unfold. I think this is really great because it's telling Congress, it's telling the UN, it's telling everybody that wants to conserve money and spend it on war and spend it on other things that are not necessarily a priority right now in terms of human species survival. It's telling them that that we can't wait any longer. Sorry, let me drink my tea. Hi, Claire. Okay. Namaste from India. Shambra, namaste to you. Okay, so Siren of the Void. Yes, no to fossil fuels. Our city is already integrating electric cars. Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, my father has one. It runs pretty much the same as, a gasoline led car. It's just very quiet, and sometimes you don't know that you're driving it at times. But it's great. And to be honest, if people want to get to the place of flying cars and more advanced technology, then they're going to have to accept this next stage into electricity and running things without gasoline. It's kind of important because this is what's going to open up technology for sound technology and other types of energetic boosts to engines that are going to allow the flying cars to exist that people dream about. And some of us have memories of Siren of the Void. That is great. New generations are seeing the good in this. Yeah, we need to all get us involved. We do. I mean, we as the older generations need to support this younger generation for sure. And what I'm very hopeful about, and I think that it's really great to see this, is that even if the adults don't do something at this point, although many of them are, and I'm trying to get some awareness out with this video today, but even if adults don't, guess what? The next generation, they're the crystal children. They're the rainbow warriors. They are the ones that were prophesized to come in. And many of us are part of that as well, but we're more kind of, the older generation is more like the way showers and the preparers. And these new children coming in, all of my subscribers that are around, 16, 18, in the early 20s, you're the crystal children. I'm an indigo, and and Violet moved into Violet Ray, but now we have the crystal children. The crystal children are not going to take a no for an answer from the government. That's kind of their purpose, is to be warriors of the light. And we are the way showers, the older generation, that can help kind of prepare them and help show them their way, or help to guide them. But they know the way, and they know, and they have enough energy and fierceness inside of them to make some great changes. I'm pretty hopeful for the future when I see this. I know that some people are afraid of the generation that came before, after us, but and there are some things with technology we have to be careful, because a lot of people are very obsessed with their phones and technology. So as long as this new generation can remember nature, and this is a great sign that they are, I think we'll be okay. I think this is the balance that we were looking for with technology and nature. So I think it's good news for now. China impresses me. Wow, I know. Yeah. And it's funny because everybody speaks badly about China as being kind of a communistic kind of government, but look at them. They're the leading in renewable energy, along with Sweden in a lot of ways, probably because that type of communistic government kind of enforces that. So people aren't really free to choose or to not choose to help the planet. Like, I mean, we have people right now living on your street and in my house sometimes, where they can choose to recycle or not. Not that I want to get to a point where we have like a tyranny, but I think we do need some kind of laws that hold people responsible. If you're not recycling, if you're not using energy responsibly, if you're not doing this, I think that there should be some kind of consequence or holding accountability to you. And I think that that's kind of what we're starting to see happen. I'm not afraid of it at all, because it's going to help us in the long run. And although people may feel that their freedoms are encroached on, it's for the better of everyone. It's for the good of all. So I don't necessarily think that this is a type of individual freedom you should hold on to. Whether you want to throw your trash on the ground or not recycle, it's not a choice any longer, and whether you want to use your gas guzzling, cars all the time, it's becoming not a choice. I mean, things are going to have to change. Yes, Claire, I'm glad to hear it's a wonderful resource in between donations and petitions. Yeah, I mean, if you can't go to the strike, if you can't stand with them physically, there are other ways. You can sign the petition. You can, there's other ways that you can help for sure. So I just wanted to show you that. Siren of the Void, I do have interest in solar energy, but I do have concerns about making the switch. Plus, I live in an apartment. Yeah, apartment buildings, that's up to the landlord. Unfortunately, yeah. However, technology is developing, so there might become something that each individual apartment could use. I mean, that would be really great. There are other ways. You might want to look up some individual ways that you can help. Like maybe you won't use your light as much as you can and go by candlelight a lot, or LED light. A lot of LED light lanterns, which look beautiful. They kind of look like old-fashioned lanterns. You can use those, and you can also use candlelight. I'm going to do a video on minimalism, but on kind of a Danish type of minimalism, in which they create an environment in the Netherlands and in other places, which is their form of minimalism, but it's like cozy atmosphere. So they use a lot of like candles at night, and they don't use a lot of energy that they don't need to. And so, I mean, you can go back to that too. You can use some candle lights instead. Yeah, Silver Sister. Yes, we should all conserve, but we shouldn't have to feel guilty for using oil. I don't think it's about guilt at this point. It's just about, I mean, guilt is really a personal feeling. So it's just about how much you can do. I understand that not everybody can buy an electric car at this point. I don't think that we're at that point where all these car companies that do fuel on gasoline are going to stop production and force you to buy an electric car. But whatever you can do right now, I mean, really just focus on the present. And then that's how you clear your conscience, because you know that you're doing the best you can. And if you can't do everything, then that's completely understandable. And you shouldn't feel any guilt for that at all. But I mean, people who throw recyclable trash and not recycle it, that's something I think that people should start to hold themselves accountable. But you just do the best that you can, and if you honestly feel that you are doing the absolute best you can for the earth every day, you make those right choices and you do whatever you can to conserve energy, then I don't think that you have anything to ever feel guilty about. You have done your part. Now it's on to the others, and they have their own responsibility as well. But the beautiful thing is that we are interconnected, and there is this quantum entanglement of our molecules. And although we are on our kind of separate subjective journeys, we are also connected. So when you make the effort, when you make the personal individual effort, it really does add to the whole, because you're affecting others and leading by example. And that is going to change a lot. So that's all. You don't have to feel guilty. Siren of Void. Oh, I do use LED lights. Good. I want candles in the future. I do oh yes, composting already too. Yeah, that's great. Yes, some cities are against it. You cannot have a compost heap in some places, and I think that is something that we should lift too. I don't know, maybe they're afraid of maggots, but the thing about compost heaps and piles is that if you build it well enough, and if it's like a plastic bin full of soil and dirt, and then you just throw your food trappings and your leftovers in it, those maggots are not going to spread anywhere. So I'm not really sure why there's such a, I don't really understand why there's such a law against compost. If somebody knows why there would be some places that would restrict composting, it would be wonderful to know, because I don't see their logic in it. Claire, what would you ever be interested in doing a video on emotional challenges of being an elven soul within a family or with partners who are, oh yes. Yes, I'll do What Would the Elves Do on that one. I'm sorry, I'll keep on going. For those of you who, so she's saying, if I would do a video on emotional challenges of being an elven soul within a family or with partners who are oriented differently, such as minimalism, zero waste, politics. Yes, definitely, because I'm living with one, so I have some experience. The fear of compost management is a lot of the times attributed to gas buildup. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, there's something on Amazon which is really great. It's it's a little tin can. I think it's tin. I'm not sure, but it's just like a little individual compost, like little tin, and you can have it in your kitchen actually, so you won't even have it outside. So I think that's a way to get around it too. So you can look at that, maybe like individual compost bins Um, but then it's the idea of where do you get rid of it? There might be some kind of compost dumping grounds in your city if you can't do it like in your backyard or around your house. That would be great. Yeah, so exciting things, really exciting things. Of course, we had the Area 51 raid, and I'm laughing because I know it was just a big party for some people. But I do think it's interesting that the Area 51 raid was going on at the same time the climate strikes. And then YouTube did something very strange where basically they were saying that it was live and it wasn't really live. So it caused a lot of people to look towards the Area 51 raid strikes while the climate strikes were actually going on. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Area 51 raid, which was just a bunch of people just kind of standing at the gate and the guards were laughing at them, and it was like a party they were having at night. I think they were drinking. I mean, I think honestly it was just like it looked like Woodstock out there with alien signs that were trying to be funny. So I mean, like I said, maybe a B minus for effort, but um, it was kind of interesting to see that it was happening alongside the climate strikes and the same day basically, and a lot of people's attentions were pulled to the Area 51 raid on YouTube, and the climate strikes were going on. And maybe that was part of a distraction because then maybe people would have stayed home and watched that instead of actually going on these strikes. Who knows? That could be that. That's definitely what energetically I feel has happened here. Um, but either way, I think that all of these movements in this direction, as long as there's a lot of people coming together, there's so much energy involved in that, and that has a momentum that carries us into a new reality. It kind of opens up doors for a new reality to be experienced. So I don't think that Congress and the UN and all these world governments that have this big choice about the climate environmental laws right now, I don't think that they're going to just kind of slough this off. I think that they're going to now look at this a little bit more seriously. So this has had a big impact. And if it doesn't, well, then we're in trouble. And I think that then we need to take more of a serious measure in this, just because it will show how stubborn these people really are and how much they do not care that people are assembling in large numbers, especially the newer generation. They won't care. And it's like at some point something has to give. So would you say, Siren? At the moment I use postable bags and put them in a bin dedicated to that. Yes. That is how I do it. Oh, I heard about the Area 51 raid. What is it all about? Yeah, I mean, just a bunch of people. It was supposed to be like 2 million were signing up to go, and actually only about, I think, like 100,000. I'm not sure the numbers, but it wasn't that much. Actually, actually, it might have been only a couple hundred. But not everybody went. Now, if all those 2 million people actually showed up, do I think that there would have been some kind of radical changes? I think so. I think that much energy, that much momentum would have at least caused some kind of maybe presidential address. It could have been to the point where they could have gotten over those guards and seen what's around there. Now, my knowledge of aliens is that they are very deep underground, and Area 51 would be just the surface entrance level into all these systems of tunnels that can take you deep underground where these civilizations are or these inner cities are. But you're not going to really see everything on the surface. So if those 2 million people actually showed up in the way that they said they were going to, then I think that it would have been a different turnout. But that's okay. We always have another day, right? Claire, I feel like political figures, media, and show business and things such as the strike is prepping us for some kind of exopolitic disclosure backed by the government, which is kind of concerning. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot happening at this point. It's interesting that we're in the time of Virgo right now in September when all this happens. And Virgo is known for perfectionism and extreme, criticism in order to help correct things and get things to its better states and improvements. So obviously this is the time where these events would occur in September. And I would say that we are moving towards, as the light side gets bigger and in the terms of people awakening and wanting the truth and wanting more transparency, you also will have the darkness kind of also get bigger in terms of defense and, reacting back. Every action has a reaction. And so, yes, there's going to be a reaction that might be negative, but it's all part of your empowerment and where you are in yourself and centered as a being, so that when these kind of other negative reactive events happen in response to the positive events that are going on, you'll know where they come from and you'll be able to see that. And I mean, really, we just have to remember we're much stronger in numbers. These people, even the shadow government, the black ops, all of that, they're small, they're minuscule compared to the amounts of people and masses in the world. So on one end, they're scared and they would never, ever want to show themselves too much because they know that they could be overpowered very easily in numbers. And I think that the climate strikes show that. I mean, visually, if you look at the amount of people that have met, I mean, this is huge. So I think it's a good thing. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in the future. I wanted to end off with a Lord of the Rings tarot pulling I was going to do for this one event. So let's see what the tarot cards have to say. So I'm going to pull one for this event, or these events in general, and see what. By the way, this tarot card is, this set is, it's kind of vintage. I found it on eBay. I don't know if they make it anymore, but it's the Lord of the Rings Oracle, and it's by Terry Donaldson. And it comes with like a little book and the cards that go with it, and even a Middle Earth map. But the art is nice. I think it was fun. I got it on eBay for a great deal. Okay, I just love everything Lord of the Rings. All right, so for this event, the white tree. Okay, so let's see what the white tree card has to say. The white tree. Oh, there's no numbers in here. All right. There we go, 25. The white tree. These pages are hard to turn. They're stuck together in a way. Let's go back here. Oh, page number's off. This says the white tree's on 25, and 25 is the Great Sea. Okay, so a problem with printing. That's okay. I can find it. I'll find it on my own. I'll be drawn to it. Let's see. Nothing right goes for me on live video. Okay, the white tree. We stand in a small clearing high on the mountain, overlooking the city of Minas Tirith. We see in the ground before us a small sapling pushing itself almost visibly through the ground and into the air. A soft, gentle breeze caresses our faces. We are filled with a tremendous sense of hope and inspiration. We begin to feel all of our previous worries and cares falling away from us. The future is an exciting prospect. We feel privileged to be alive at this time. Beautiful. Esoteric meaning. The seedling of the white tree was found by Gandalf in a field below the snows of Mount Milduluin, under the great battle for Minas Tirith. It was planted in the court of Minas Tirith, where it swiftly grew and blossomed, reminding men of the times of the elder days. It was a symbol of the victory of life over death. Personal indications, good news. After a period of intensity and contradiction, the opportunity to rebuild on more solid foundations, renewed growth, positive developments. There we go. Perfect card for these events. So there's your tarot card pool for the climate strike. So wonderful job. Bravo. I hope many of you go September 27th. There still is some time. Sign up if you can to help in any way that you can. Individually, think about what you can do to cut down on some of the fossil fuel usage that you are attributing to, and switch over if you can to solar, wind, power. What else? Water, hydro. Anything that you can do that will help in this movement is great. And just remember, victory is ours. Thank you for everyone joining in, and I will see you all on the next video. Take care.